it's time to piss some people off because I'm going to be ranking every single comic book superhero movie we've gotten in 2023 from worst to best. And I know everyone has their favorites, so like with every ranking video, someone's going to be in their feelings down in the comments below. But remember, it's my list, I can't miss. In last place for me personally, I got Shazam Fury of the Gods. And I mean, really, you could switch this one and the next one I have and I really wouldn't care. I'm not going to lie, there was some nice window shopping going on in this movie. Mary Marvel, Megan Good, Lucy Liu, Mrs. Batson, Helen Mirren. But outside of that, this is really like the love and thunder of the DC universe. You either love it or you don't like it. I'm somewhere in the middle. Next up, I got Quantumania, really for Kang and Kang alone, and Paul Rudd. Who doesn't love Paul Rudd? After a rewatch, I actually don't like this movie as much as I did when I first watched it, especially when you compare it to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which had nice practical sets, and comparing the fact that this was definitely just filmed on a stage with a green screen behind it. Very bland. Although there is some fun to be had. I like MODOK personally. I thought that shit was funny. Look at me. I'm such a dick. At least I'll get to die in Avenger. A bit of a jump from the last two to this one, I got The Flash. Another one that I didn't really enjoy as much on rewatch. First and foremost is CGI atrocious. And I'm not even just talking about the third act or when he's in the Speed Force. I'm just talking about when the two berries are together, like the face scans were terrible. But it is still the Flashpoint storyline, which I love near and dear to my heart because, hey, I'm a big fan of my mom. Albeit it's a watered down version. Try to get the nostalgia factor with Michael Keaton, who was still kicking some ass. Arkham Batman style too. Sasha Kaye Supergirl. I thought it was pretty damn funny. Maybe for the wrong reason. A huge leap forward. I got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Say that 5 times fast. I love the Turtles. They're near and dear to my heart. Putting them into a Spider-Verse inspired animated universe was genius. This animation stands on its own though. It's like an oil painting / sketch drawings. I loved it. The voice actors are incredible. These are actual teenagers voicing the Turtles. Their chemistry is palpable. I love Superfly. I love all the other mutants. Mondo Gecko especially. I kill for him. Not to mention the score and the soundtrack. And yeah. In third place, I got Blue Beetle. Call it recency bias. Call it personal bias. I don't care. I loved this movie because it felt like I was watching my Mexican family up on that screen with our own Mexican superhero. Yeah, it's a very generic formulaic origin story for a superhero, but everyone saying that it's something we haven't seen before is fucking lying. You've never seen a Latino superhero. A lot of that flew over your head because you're just not used to it. And while all the fight scenes are cool, the score, soundtrack, the use of practical and CGI, it was the emotional core of that family that hit me. Like, it got me on a couple times where I was like, they're not gonna get me, and I got tears out of me. I don't care. Loved it. In second place, I got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And really, for a lot of what I said about Blue Beetle applies to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's like watching your family up on that screen, except everyone's an alien, someone's a raccoon, someone's a fucking tree. But for the final ride with this group of Guardians, I couldn't have asked for a better film. Obviously, the soundtrack, the needle drops in this go crazy. That hallway fight scene, everything with Rocket's background, a high evolutionary actually being a piece of shit villain. There is no God. That's why I stepped in. Let's go, motherfucking boys. I love this movie so damn much. But in first place, I got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This was just an experience like no other I had in the theater. I ascended to the damn heavens. And I love how this is technically Spider-Gwen's movie. Obviously, what can I say about the animation that hasn't been said before? They leveled themselves up from the first movie to this one. The soundtrack in this movie is probably the best original soundtrack that we've gotten for a film this year. And the crazy thing is, the score of this movie is better than the soundtrack. I'm still slapping that shit to this day. I really love how the plot about this one is more so what it truly means to be Spider-Man and how Miles doesn't fit into that box and how he's gonna transcend it and become the ultimate Spider-Man. You make your own story. They're not written for us. But that's why it's number one. But that's just how I would rank them. Let me know how you'd rank them down in the comments below. And as always, like and follow for more.